Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. So this video is a continuation of the cross-platform authentication video that we did previously. If you haven't watched this video, go away and watch this video. But we're just talking about cross-platform authentication. While we built the API, we also built the web, and now today we are building the React Native mobile app, and we are all authenticating them using the Clerk Authentication. So if show you the diagram back here, so we said you have an example of an e-commerce mobile app or web application, or the mobile app. So you build the API for this application, you build the web for this application, the web application, and then you also build the mobile app. And then one thing that you can just do is authenticating both the web, the API, and the mobile app. So previously in this video, we did for web and the API. We built the API and we also authenticated it, and also the web. So in today's video, we're just trying to implement or to integrate Clerk Authentication in the mobile app so that we can protect pages. So in this case, we have 4 pages in our mobile app. You can see we have home, explorer, and cart. So if I just go to home, I have explorer and cart. Now you can see like these home, explorer, and cart, those are public pages. So basically authentication is about protecting the protected pages. Let's say you have a profile page, dashboard page, or checkout page that you want to protect. If someone tries to visit the authenticated or the protected page, you just then route him to these sign up pages or sign in page. Then when he authenticates, then you can able to visit. So if I go to the profile page here, you see that right now I'm already logged in with my email. That's why you can see I can visit this page. Let me just go ahead and sign out. So if I just go ahead and I sign out from this account, you can see that I'm routed to one of these pages, the sign up or the sign in page. So this is a sign in page. So on the sign in page, you can just go ahead and sign in if you don't have an account, or you can just go ahead and register if you don't have an account. So if you just go to the register page, you see that you can just go ahead and register using the first name, last name, email, and password. Okay. So we have already implemented this. You can just go ahead and register. So for instance, I don't know, I can just go ahead and delete one account here so that we can just again reuse it. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this account or delete this user. Okay, so I've deleted this user. Let me just go back to my app here. So now I can just go ahead and register. So you may just go ahead and take you through the registration process. You can register using a Google account or GitHub. If I place on Google like this, you will see that I'm going to be redirected here, where you can just go ahead and log in using Google. So I can just go and do this. So you can see you can continue into the app. And now you can see that it is just checking, and now I'm redirected to this. So you can see now here, I can go to the profile page and I can see everything. Let's sign out. Okay, so you can just go ahead and register. And if I try to submit, you can see we have the validation. So here we use it React Hook form and Zod to make sure that we do the validation. I'm just going to go ahead and enter my details. I'm just going to go ahead and add all my details. and let's create an account. So you can see when you do this, it goes ahead and sends a verification code. So you have to go ahead and verify your, I'm just going to go ahead and enter my code. Okay, so then we can just go ahead and log in. So you can see now it has authenticated and it has taken us to the home page. If I go back to the profile page, now you can see that just logged in user here. Okay, yeah, so you can also update your name here, the first name and last name. You can just go ahead and update them. We also implemented that, and you can see that this is looking really beautiful, by the way. And all these components, some of them, I have a free documentation that I created that helped us to actually achieve this in the shortest possible time. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching. Just let's dive in and get started. Hello, welcome to today's video. So in today's video, we are continuing with cross-platform authentication. So in our previous video that I made yesterday, we're talking about the cross-platform authentication, and we looked at hooking up our Next.js front end with a Honor backend, and then we authenticated both the two applications using Clerk. Okay, so we had a web application built in Next and an API built in Honor, and we authenticated the web and also authenticated the API using the two using Clerk. And now today we are integrating Clerk in our mobile app, so that even the mobile app is authenticated using the Clerk. Okay, so there are those people who busy beefing up with Clerk, but at the end of the day is all about the community. So for instance, right now, whether you don't like Clerk or not, whether you like Clerk or not, is that after more people have used the Clerk for web applications, you're going to see, and actually right now, you're going to see most of the applications that you're going to be working on as gigs, if you're a freelancer, they are going to be using Clerk. So you cannot run away from something that people are using. If more people use something, let's say you do not like Next.js, or you do not like React Native, but if more people are using it, eventually you are going to be forced to use it because other people that you are working with are using it. So me personally, I wasn't a fan actually of Clerk from the beginning, and even I have less videos on my YouTube channel about Clerk. But the more I'm working on some application, people are requesting more, actually requesting to use Clerk in one or the other in some instances. And you find some of the applications, even starter kits, they're using Clerk. They have not sponsored me in any way. If they had sponsored me, you would see maybe a coupon in the video somewhere that I've added, like use this code on sign up or anything. They have not given me any. I'm not affiliated to them in any way or the other. I'm not. I simply just like want to be genuine. If you just go to their pricing page, according to the amount of work that they do, if you look at what they provide, for instance, for the web, I think 10,000 monthly active users. If you have an application which has 10,000 monthly active users, dude, you should at least pay. At that point, I think you should pay for $25 for the user management. Okay, that is a a good number. If it was like about like maybe 500, but 10,000, this can really build you from testing. If you just like building your app and you're testing up an idea, I think it is a very good solution to that. Like, you don't even need to use it maybe for so many years, but if you're testing out how things work, I think that is really good to test out if this works or not. But otherwise, we're just going to go into the implementation. We're just going to look at how we are going to implement Clerk into our React Native application. So I created a simple documentation we are going to use. Okay, I created a simple documentation we are going to use. So I'm just going to start by creating first an app using our CLI. Let me just first close all these things here. So I have my project folder open here in the terminal. So I'm just going to go ahead and install a new React Native app. But now, since we're using the Desishub CLI, I'm just going to say Desishub new. So before you use this, make sure that you have installed the Desishub. So you can just say Desishub. And then you can just say, for instance, -- version. So if it brings in a version here, then you have it installed. You have things like Desishub -- like help. It shows you some of the things you can do, even the options, the commands you can do. Anyways, let's just say Desishub new. And then I'm just going to create here Expo Clerk starter, just like this. So here, just going to be only focusing on implementing the authentication. You can also use the API we built yesterday into our new app. I'm just going to go here and choose the third option, which is React Native plus Expo plus React Query. So you just want to choose this, that one. So this is going to go ahead and start installing a React Native Expo app. I'm just going to give it some seconds, and then we see, okay, so it is done. So we can cd into Expo Clerk starter, and then just say code dot. So this is going to go ahead and open it in VS Code. Let me open the terminal. So this one goes ahead and actually install it for you, so you don't need to do anything. Simply just say npm start, just like this. So this one is going to go ahead and start your application. We just want to see what is what is this comes about. So after installing, right now, we just start by using npm start. Okay, so you can just press A. If you have your you can just connect to your phone using the Expo Go app, and then you scan this QR code. It will just go on your phone. If you already have this emulator installed on your machine, then you can press like A, and this is going to go ahead and open the emulator. So I'm just going to go ahead and press A, and this is going to go ahead and open our emulator. So I'm just going to give it some seconds. It will just going to load up, and then we can just go ahead. So if you this template that I used for here is what we built in one of the videos. If you check one of the mobile app videos I built here, it is what you get when you install this. Okay, so you can see, yeah, we have everything working. You can see we have the app loaded fully. It has these pages. So this is what we built in one of the projects, and now we're using it as a template. It already has the add to cart, the data fetching. So where there are these products, you could just go ahead and fetch using our Expo API. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to concentrate on adding authentication to this app. So we're just going to be protecting the profile page. So right now we have a profile page here. Okay. If I can just go to the profile page, if you go to app and then you go to tabs, you will see that we have a profile page that has this text. I could just say class name, and then you can just give it, for instance, flex item center. Let me just bring this emulator, I think, on a side here, and then I can say item center, maybe min height screen, and then just file center, just like this, to add the word profile in the center. Okay, so just going to be protecting this page, and then we'll display the user information. So at this point, let's just start following the guide that I created. So I'm just going to put this here, and just simply go to, just going to close this. Simply go to this codemint.vercel.app and then click on guides. So we have blogs, we have also guides. So you click on the guides, and then there is this complete Clerk Authentication with Expo. So click on this one. So let's first go ahead, and we have already created a new app using the Desishub CLI. And now let's go ahead and install some of the dependencies that we need to use. So I'm just going, for that matter, I'm just going to go ahead and stop this. And so that I can just first install some of the things. So just go ahead and install the Expo package. So if you just want, you can also just go in the browser, and then you say Clerk Expo, just like this. And then you can click on this first link. Okay, so you can see the first thing is to install the Expo, the Clerk Expo SDK. So that's the same thing here, npm install Clerk. So I'm just going to copy this and go ahead and install this. Okay, just like that. So then after that, we just need to install some other dependencies. So we're just going to be using Expo uses Expo web browser for the Google authentication, and it uses Expo Secure Store for securing the session tokens. So just going to need also these packages here. So just let's go ahead and install this. Okay, this one is still ongoing. Let's give it some seconds. Okay, let's just go ahead and install also this. Okay. So if we just continue down here, for forms we're using React Hook Forms and Zod. So you just need to install also React Hook Forms and Zod for that matter. So let's just go ahead and also add these. So I'm just going to add React Hook Form and Zod. Okay, so step 2 is configure. We have to configure Clerk. So basically we need this Expo public publishable key. So we just need to create the env file. So I will just go in here, create a .env file, .env. And inside this file, I'm just going to go ahead and add this. So you just need to add this publishable key. So you could just go ahead and go back to your dashboard, or in any of these ones. Yeah, you can see if you just like logged in and you go to the documentation, you see they will just actually give it to you here. They will pick it from the project you are logged in. So you can see all the projects, I have them here. I can just simply copy this and they just like add it there like so. Okay, so moving forward, after that, let's just go continue. Configure. Okay, so the one thing you have to do is to configure. Of course, you can just auth providers. By the way, you can just go here. We did the easy way. If you just go to the dashboard in production, if you change to production, you will have to go ahead and add those. You have to go ahead and add those. What are they called? You have to go ahead and add your like Google Auth client ID, then secret key. You have to go ahead and add them for the providers. But for now, we can, since we are just in development, we can simply just use these ones for testing. Okay, so let's go ahead and see moving forward. So I'm just going to go ahead here. In my app, let's continue following the guide. Go back to the guide here, and the first thing is add Clerk provider to your root layout. So what you just need to do is to add this Clerk provider. So we need two things in this. We need the Clerk provider and the token cache. So in this Clerk provider, just import it like this. Just go to our root layout, this one. And then on top here, you can just go ahead and import the Clerk provider. You can see it comes from Clerk Expo. And then you can also bring in the token cache, which comes from also Clerk Expo. So you can just come here and add token cache like that. And then to your app, you can just go ahead and add it to your app. So let me just go here. I simply need to wrap everything. So I can just get this query, cut everything, and then put just Clerk provider, just like this. Okay, and then here you can just like pass in the token cache. Token cache is equal to token cache, just like that. Okay, so the next thing, my PC is actually freezing for some reason. Yeah. Okay, so now the next thing is the layout. So we just need to create an auth group for putting up our sign in and the sign up and the sign in pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an auth group. So just come here and let's create an auth group, a route group. Just create auth, just like this. And then you can just go ahead and add the pages here, but let's first go ahead and add the layout.tsx here. And then you can just say, I don't know if the layout is here. So yeah, you can just go ahead and just get this layout that we have here. I don't know why today my PC is freezing all the time. I guess it's just because of the emulator. I'm just going to try to close some of these things here to free up some space. Okay, so we just need to get this the layout page. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this layout page, add it here. So you can see it also gives us the is signed in from use auth hook. So this use auth hook we're going to be using. If you want to check if the user is signed in, then you can use this, and then we redirect back to home. Else we put the stack. So here we could just like, if you wanted, we could just like put all the pages within this one. So now let's just go ahead and create some of the components that we will use. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. We already have the components folder, and we also have the UI in it. Okay, it already have this one. So I'm just going to create some components here. The first one is going to be button, the tsx, and then the second one is going to be input, the tsx. The third one is going to be the social login, social button. Let's create social button .tsx. So we just need those. We're going to use them on the form for authentication forms, the screens for login. So the input, this is the code here, but I haven't tested this. This flow in the morning. I was trying to make this documentation very fast so that I can make the video. But the testing, we're going to do it together. So this is the input. I'm just simply using some classes just to make it much better. Okay, just like this. We're just going, if it is not looking right, we just like go ahead and make some few changes to make it look much better. Okay, so then the next one is the input button. So let me just copy the button. So in the button, you can just like add this in the button. Okay, so you can see the button has variants: primary, secondary, outline, and by default is primary and it is large. Okay, and then I think the last one is the social button. So I'm just going to go back here and just put in the social button just like this. So we have 3 components that we have created that we're just going to be using. So the social button is going to help us to put things like the provider, like Google, and then put like the Google icon. Okay. Then the next thing that we need to do is creating the screens. So now let's go ahead and create the screens. We need also the 2 screens for the sign in and the sign up. So I'm just going to go and create these screens. So we have the sign in screen. So I'm just going to go here under screens. So in components, we already have screens. We have 1 screen, which is cut screen. Let's go ahead and add in some more screens. So I'm just going to say sign in screen.tsx. Let's go ahead and add this screen. Okay, and by the way, these screens, you can use them even if you're not using Clerk. We'll be using these same screens with other providers. Okay, so they're using, as you can see on top here, they're using the button, input, and the social button. Now we could just recapitalize these ones. Okay, but we could just also leave them just like we say, like this one is instead UI button. This one is UI input, and then this one is UI social button, just like that. So you can see we have that. We're just going to go through that afterwards as we just like implement, but we just like go through it. Okay, this one right now, let me just go ahead and fix it. Okay, so you have the sign in screen. Let's create another second screen, which is going to be the sign up screen. So sign up screen.tsx. Okay, so if you scroll down here, you will find that we also have the sign up screen. Okay, so they are also using the same component. So I'm just going to say here slash social button, and then slash input, and then slash button, just like that. And then I just go ahead and also we can just simply fix the ESLint issues here. Okay, so we have now also the sign up screen. We can just also create one more screen for the profile page, or we can just create it later by just scroll down here. So we can just also create the profile screen. So the profile screen is what we're just going to show if someone is logged in. So just going to say profile screen.tsx. Okay, so this is also using some of these components. So I'm just going to say here input, and then just going to say button, just like that. And now this route here, we haven't created this one, so we're just going to go ahead and create those routes in a second. Okay, so after that, now we can just go ahead and create the pages. So down here, after creating this, now we can create the pages, the sign-in page, which uses, as you can see, the sign-in. So I'm just going to go ahead and say sign-in. So under the auth, inside the auth, let's go ahead and create the sign-in page. So sign-in.tsx, and let's just like add this. So from the screens, we can just like import this from components screens, just like this. Okay, so this, as you can see, the sign up screen is also not yet there. Let's create the sign up page. So just say sign up.tsx, and then let's just go ahead and create this page also. So the sign up page is just down here. My page is also it is also freezing up my PC. Just going to do this. Okay, so just go ahead and get this. Okay, so we have the sign in, and then just going to go the sign up. Just get this screen. Okay, so you can see we still have these not routing. Is because we haven't run the server. These ones haven't compiled, because when they compile, they will now say that we have these two routes. Let's create the final page we want, which is going to be the profile. Before we start like the flow, how it is going to work. So we have the profile page. So the profile page, we already have the profile page. Under the tabs, we have the profile. So I'm just going to go ahead and update this profile like this. And let me just get the profile screen. We just modify these ones in a second. Okay. So let's just say, first of all, when you create a layout like this one, I'm just going to go ahead and start the app, by the way. So let me just go ahead and start the app, npm start. Now, I just want to go back to this layout, the tabs layout. And in this, I'm just going to add one more tab. So you can see here, I will just simply add this like so, duplicate it. And I'm just going to put in here auth, just like this, header shown false, just like that. Now, you can see that the errors have gone because the pages have compiled now that we have sign in and the sign up. I'm just going to simply refresh my app here. Okay. Now, we might just get an error since we don't have the logged in user on this. Let me just wait for it to first bundle. So how does this work? So the user will be having, the app has protected pages and the public pages. Let's say, I'm just going to go back to this so that I can just explain a little bit on how authentication works. So let's say you have, the way you see here, we have a lot of pages, okay? So you can find in your app, you have pages. So you have both public, we have both public pages, and then you also have the protected pages. So you find you have like the public pages and the protected pages, just like this. So let's say under this, the public pages, let's say we have the home page. Let me just first use an arrow here. So you can just say you have the you have like the home page, okay? You have the cart page, then you have like the product detail page, product page. So you have all these are just like these are all the public pages, but then you have also the protected pages. So you might just be having the protected pages, such as, let's say you have the dashboard page. Let's say you have a dashboard page. Then you have like a profile page. Let's see here, a profile page. You can even have like some more pages, like checkout page. So these are some of the protected pages. So what you have also, the auth pages. Like you have the, under the, of course, the public pages, you will have also the authentication pages. So you can just like put the authentication pages. They can also be public. You can just like put them under maybe the public here, but the essence is that now we have, for instance, the sign up page, or we have also the sign in page. Okay, so we have these here. So we can just like if someone just checks, when someone just comes to the system and is trying to access a protected page and is not logged in, they're just going to be routed back to this sign up page. And then after, when they sign up or when they log in, then they can just now be able to visit that. That's the one when we just like visit like the profile page. If you're not authenticated, you want to be signed in or to be shown this. Okay, so the easy thing is to either route someone, or you could just like show them like the authentication screen or the auth buttons. So like whichever you can use, like the use effect, or you can just use this is signed in. So you can see like this is signed in. So you actually, if you just like go to if you just go to the Clerk here on this SDK, so you can see they have down here, they have if you just say, you can see have the layout page where they check if you are signed in. So you can just check if signed in, and then you can redirect someone to that page. But you can see down here, there is also a signed out, by the way, a signed out button here. If you just continue down here, you said they create a profile page. Okay, there is this index page, and on the index page is once you can of course tap into the data from using this use user hook. So you can just use this to protect the page. Like the signed in, you show this, and if it's not signed in, you show this. So let's say I'm on the profile page. So if you just go back to this profile page, you can see it is showing the profile screen. Okay, and it just first look at the what is on this profile screen. You can see it is getting this user from the user, and that's the one which has all the information you would want to display. Now, before that, even showing this whole screen, we may just want to get, you can see it starts getting if the user is there. So it is just assuming that by the time you go to this page, you are authenticated. So on the page itself, on the profile page here, we can just check if a user is logged in, then we show him this page, or if he's not, then we show him to sign in or to sign out. So I would just go ahead and just use this. So you can just copy this thing here. Okay, I could just copy this screen, and let me just paste it within this, just like this. So what I basically need is, I'm just going to import the signed in and the signed out. Okay, the signed out. Now, if we just have the signed in, I can just go ahead and check that. Okay, you could just go ahead and check that. In fact, we could just also use this is signed in hook. Actually, I think I'm just going to use that. That is good. I'm just going to use the is signed in hook. We use this hook inside the layout here. So I'm just going to use this is signed in, just like this. So you just go back to the profile. I can just abstract this is signed in, just like that. This one is gotten from is signed in is from Clerk Expo. So make sure you import it from the right place, guys. So you have the Clerk, we have Clerk React and the Clerk Expo. So just get it from that. So what I just want is I could just check now within this here. Within this, maybe we just use fragments. So inside here, you could just now check which component to show. So you could just come in and say, okay, can we check if is signed in? If this is true, then we show the profile screen. Else, okay, else we can just go ahead and show a different view here. So I'm just going to say view, and within this view, let's first import this view here from React Native. So inside this view, I'm just going to add in some buttons. So I'm just going to add in two links. I'm just going to say link React Native React Expo here. And then inside, I'm just going to add in text. Text. Where is it? Text. So I'm just going to go here and just say, for instance, sign in, like this. Let me first get this text from React Native. Then the link, I just say href. And then I'm just saying, or sign in, just like this. Okay. So basically, I want just to design this to look nice. Just going to say class name. I can just say hide screen and just say flex, items center, justify center. And for flex, I'm just going to say flex row, just like that. I'm just going to add two buttons. So if we just right now try to, we haven't signed in any way. So if I try to go to this profile page. Let's just try to visit the profile page. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go to the profile page. Now you can see that now we have gone to the profile page and this has checked, is signed in as checked, if we are signed in or not. And now since we're not signed in, we are being seen, shown this one here. So let's just go ahead and style this one to look much better. I'm just going to add it here. So let's first add the gap of 4. And I'm just going to go ahead and give this a class name, py of 2, px of 6, rounded. Just going to say lg. bg, I'm just going to give it a bg of black. And then you could just also give it text of white, just like this. Okay. Maybe, yeah, I think py of 3. And then for the other one, this other one, I'm just also going to copy exactly the same thing, give a class name. Now for it, I'm just going to say bg white actually, and then I'm just going to say text black. I'll just give it a border, and then like border gray 300, just like this. So just have like these 2 buttons which you're on the profile, and they're like, since you're not signed in, you can just like do this. So you could just do this, or you could use a use effect and then you simply route to those pages. Okay, so like this is one way you can do that. If you just like not logged in, then you show these buttons, and if someone is logged in, then you hide the buttons. Like whichever way you want can simply still work. If you want to use the use effect, or you want to use this of showing the 2 of the buttons, the sign in. Okay, so you could just like put also a statement here. You need to be logged in to see your profile. So like maybe you could just like say, we could just like create this component reusable, just to, you know, to be using it on every protected page. But for now, since we have only one protected page, I'm just going to simply do this. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the sign up. One has to be sign up. So this has to be, for instance, sign up. And then even here is going to be sign up, just like this. So you can now click and we go on the sign up. Okay, so just like now here on the sign up, it doesn't look good, but just going to make sure we work on this to look much better. So we have the sign up here. So we can just go ahead and if we want, we can remove this this thing here by adding the layout, and then you can just say header shown something. If you just look at all these screens here, like in the front pages, in the layout, you can say you can just like go ahead and hide. Let me just see where you can. One of these, you can just go ahead and hide the tab, something like this is like for the bottom navigation. I think it's supposed to be in the layout file where you have stack, and then you can just like stack screen. You can just like put those screens here. in that thing, you can just like put the pages. So within the stack, you can specify the pages. So you can just copy this, copy into the layout. So instead of putting the stack like this, you can just now put the stack like this. Okay. And now you can just say we have 2 pages. We have let me see in these other ones. Oh, in this one, Idanchi is using the stack, this first one. And on this stack, you can just like go ahead and show this header shown. You remove it. What is it? Stack, and I don't know, screen. If I do this, sorry. So the name, I think this one's going to be like, for instance, sign dash in. And then the second one is the sign up. Sign up. And then you just say, so the header shown like false. Yeah, so you can see, you simply just go ahead and hide the options. You just take off the header so that you have the full thing like this. So just going to go ahead and we're going to now moving into the sign up, and then we remove what we don't want. We improve it to look much better the way we want. So let's just go to the sign up. So here I have the sign up, and this is the screen here. Just going to go to the sign up. I'm just going to add this here. So you can see on top we have the whichever, like your logo, then create your account, join us, real estate, blah blah. And then here we have Apple, Google, and GitHub. Now depending on what we want, like in this, normally you can also leave, like we had created Google and GitHub. So I'm just going to go ahead and in this component, they just understand it. So you have the safe area view here, and then you have the scroll view. Then inside the scroll view is where we have this icon. This is this is if pending. So this is for verification. If you use this, then it is here. So the logo is here. We have the icon, and then we have the create your account, and then join us. Then we start with the social buttons. Then in the social buttons, you can see when you click it, it just goes there. So we don't need, first of all, like the Apple, we don't have that one. So you can just go ahead and take off the that. So we have remain with the Google and GitHub. So we can just like leave actually Google and GitHub since we have actually all of them configured. So I'm just going to leave both of them. So down here, we say, oh, we have a divider, and then we have our form. So in the form, you can see we have these inputs, and this is why we're using our input, like the first name. So the input are really big. So you can just go to the input, and then we can just work on, you know, putting them to look fine. So for instance, you can see like, if you click in the input, you can see this is the input here. So what I just want is this py of 4. So I want first to remove this and see what happens. So you can see removing just the py of 4, it makes it look much better. Okay, let's just make sure that this, even the ones with icons, look much better. So that's the only thing we just need to remove, the py of 4, and the remaining thing looks pretty good actually. So let me just go back to the sign up, and we have to here, instead of using this space X on the flex row, let's use gap of 3. space X does not work. So every time you find use like space X does not work here, but the gap works. So the gap is good. Then we have margin bottom of 4. I'm just going to use margin bottom of 2. I think that's like, let me just like, already this view, let me see. Okay, that's the whole entire. I think margin bottom of 2. Let me first even remove it and see. Since we added the gap here, if it was gap X, but since the gap is working on both sides, we can just actually remove that. And I think this looks good already. So let's just go. This is the first one. Then the second one, we have last name, which is that. And then I'm just going to minimize this. So this first one is the first name and last name. So then we have the email. So the email looks good. And then we have lastly the password. Nice. And then down here we have the button, which is actually using the default button, which looks also great. Then you have an account, then it has sign in. So if we click on sign in, for instance, this should just route us the sign in here. And we need also to go to the sign in, and we can also remove that. We can just go ahead and remove the, we can just go to the sign in here, and we can just go ahead and remove some of these things like the Apple most especially. Just go here and do this. Then let's remove the Apple here like that. Okay, I think this looks good. Okay, so now it's just like a matter of testing some of these flows. I'm just going to go ahead and do the testing of the flows. So let's go back the sign up page here. So just going to first test using, I think we should first use the first name, last name to register. So I'm just going to go here, first to the dashboard, and I want to remove some of the users who are already there. I'm just going to remove this one because I want to use this email here. I want to use this email. So I'm just going to go here and delete user, delete the user, and that user is done. So I'm just going to go ahead and now sign in with any user. So I'm your first name, just going to add my name. Go to the next. This is going to be John Baptist, if I can write it. And then let's scroll down here and add the email, which is going to be this. Okay, so I just added the email. Okay, and then of course, so I'm just going to go here and okay, so I'm just going to copy this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on create an account. Just want to test the first flow. So you can see here we have this second screen for verification, and this screen is still within the sign up actually. So if you just go up here in the sign up screen, you will see that we have this if statement here. So if pending verification, and then we go ahead and render this here. You can see this email icon and then this. Okay, So I'm just going to check on my phone and get the verification code, and I just add it there. Okay. And just going to click on verify. Just click on verify, take that, and nice. So you can see we have routed to the home page if we successfully verify or log in. So the session has been created, and at this point we could we can access the authentication state in the whole entire app. So for instance, we can now visit back the profile. Remember, this profile is the one that that is protected. So if I just visit now the profile, you can see that the profile now is showing the details of the user. Right now we are seeing a different screen. Okay, you can see I have my profile information, member since, and all this nice stuff. Okay, so what I just want is now to go ahead and log out. So you can just go ahead and sign out, and then you say yes. And we sign out, and you can see they send us to the login page. I just go ahead and test the login because we had not tested this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and test this login. Okay. Nice. So you can see this now. Also, the login works nicely. Let's just go ahead and log out and test some other flows. So I'm just going to sign out. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on sign up with, I'm just going to go to sign up, and I'm just going to sign up with Google. Okay. So you can sign up with GitHub or Google, but I'm just going to use Google. So you can see this one is using Expo browser. You can see you go to actually the actual browser here. Okay. Now, since we are not having the stuff, we have to go ahead and add in an account. I don't know if I want to go through that. I feel like I don't need to create sign into my account in my emulator. I'm not sure about that, but if you just like have any account, you can just go ahead and log in to the app. Okay, so yeah. So the same thing with GitHub. You just go here and then to route you to github.com, where you need to sign into your GitHub and add in this one. Okay, so yes, I go ahead and look at recap on some few things. I'm just going to go ahead. Did I just like I didn't put any way of going back to home? On this authentication, I think we need to have a way of like going back to homepage, because here you can see you only go through the sign in. What if someone wants to actually go back home? I'm just going to go here on this sign in. This is a sign up screen. So I'm just going to say sign up screen. We just like search for where we have this sign in down here. Okay, already have an account, so I could just like add also here another one, like the same thing, like this here, which says back home. And on press, if you look at the sign in is having a lot of stuff, but I'm just going to say on press, I'm just going to say router dot push. I'm just going to push to home. just like that. So if you save it, you have that. Let's just go ahead and add a gap. So you can just add a gap of 3. Yeah, so you could just say go sign in or go back home, just like this. Similarly, you can just like add copy this and let's add it on the sign in screen. So just go to the sign in screen here. Just going to go to the sign in, and it has down here where it has not a member here. So on this, I will add this, and I will also just go ahead and add gap of 4. So you can just also go back home if you want. Okay, so we have the auth flow working. So I'm just going to go through just now a few things. Let's go to the profile of the screen. Like, what you just need to know is the hooks you need to get what. The hook that we're using so much is this use user hook. The use user hook is only having actually the user. And if you look at the user comes with this user resource. Okay. So you can just go here, and you can just go on the image user.image URL. It shows the image of the user. But if it's not there, then we show the initials. Then down here, we have user.fullname. If it's not there, then we show the word user. Then you can see the email we're using, primary email addresses.email. We looked at this yesterday in the web. So you have user.primary addresses.email address. And then we have the profile form. So this profile form, you can use it to update some details. You can see it has the edit mode, and it has the edit mode here. So you can, if you're in the edit mode, you can just see that we can update. And if you just see here down on the update handle submit, you can see that we have this form, the use form handles on submit, this one. So you can see there is this update. So you can see you can also access the update. What is the update? We have use auth and use user. I want to see where we are getting this. Oh, it is on the user. So you can see on the user, you have this function .update. So you can update the first name and last name. Okay, so that's why you created this. You just use it as a resource, user.update. You can update. And then, of course, this one is just like the normal things, getting the initials. Then the other cool thing that I want to show you, so this one is everything just like normal. Okay, so like you can say user.created art, and then you can just like put the created art. Then another nice thing is if this user has connected accounts, so you can see down here if user.external account and .user external account .length is greater than 0, then if you just go back here, let's go ahead and log in. Just go ahead and log in. So if you just go back to the profile, so you can see like this user has no any connected account. But let's say you logged in with Gmail or what, then you're going to see here the connected accounts. Okay, right now this one doesn't have the connected accounts. That's why it doesn't have that part. Okay, but if I do this on my mobile, mobile device, it will just go ahead and log in. And when I cannot just like log in the emulator right now, maybe I have to first create an account for the one I'll be using for the emulator. Oh, okay, so what they want to say. So the profile, we have just gone through the profile. We're using the user hook to get all these details. And we have also seen that the user has the update where you can update. So if I click on this, you can see that you can update your first name and last name. Okay, so let's just go back to something. Another page that is very interesting to explore is going to be the sign up page. Okay, so let me just go ahead and log out. So scroll down and let's sign out. And let's go to the register page. So just going to start with this Google, the Google login and the GitHub login. Let's go ahead and understand them. So I'm just going to go to the sign up page. So on the sign up page, we start with the social button. So we already created our own social button. This is just like a normal button. As you can see here, it has the provider, on place, loading, and disabled. So here it gets the get provider config just to know the colors. If it's Google, which colors to use. For instance, you can just go ahead and use a different color, then Apple, then Facebook, GitHub, and it has all these ones. Okay. Then after it registers a touchable opacity with some of these class names, we have the loading indicator. The loading indicator comes from React Native, as you can see here. And now we have the icon. This shows the icon from the config, depending on the provider. And then we put this. So we have that just like a simple button. And the only thing it just does is that you can pass in any on place you want. Okay. And you can also pass in the provider. These two, they are having default false. Now, if you just go back to the sign up screen, you'll see that the social provider we pass in, for instance, the provider Google, and on place we pass in, for instance, handle, social sign up, and then we pass this. So where does this handle social sign up come from? So you can just like search for it like here, and then you can look for it here. So we have this handle social sign up, which is a callback. And if you just look inside here, it takes in a strategy, or as Google, or as GitHub, or as Apple. You can just like put all of them, the ones you want. But the most important one is, if you just look here, is this start SSO flow. Okay, start SSO flow. And this actually in the documentation is not clear at all. But if you just go to the documentation here, and you go down here on this is what they say. I think learn how to build a custom OAuth flow. I don't know if it's just like this one. I think it must be this one where they give you this. So I got this from here. Okay, so is where they have this. You can see start SSO flow hook. There is this use SSO hook to access the start flow method. Okay, then from this, you can see you pass in the strategy. So the authentication process by calling this flow. So you call the flow and then you pass in the strategy like this. And then they redirect, you pass in auth.make redirect URL. So they just explain here, for native, you must pass in the scheme like this. Then for more, you can just say go to that SDK. So I used this from here is what I used to create this here. So you can see I did the passing the strategy, which is already this one that we have here. The person has passed in, and if created, then we go ahead and sign in, go to the home page, If there's any error, then we just go ahead and show the error. So that is how we handle the handle social sign up by using this this hook. SSO flow hook is why just like use this. You can see this one is extracted, I think, here. So you can just see you have it here. Okay, start SS flow from this here. Very important. Now let's just look at the sign up using these ones. They are actually just like the normal ones. They're using that. They just like go ahead and look at that. So you start by having, this is how React Hook Form works. Those who haven't used React Hook Form in React Native, it just works like the normal one. You have the errors. Okay, so let me just go to do this and minimize this also here, and then we have the form. So inside the form, this is how you get the information. You have this control. This control comes from React Hook Form. So if you just go back here and you go up here, you're going to see that we import control from the React Hook Form. It gives you two things, the control and the use form. So the control is just like the way you see the register. So inside this control, we can pass control is equal control, and then we have name, then we pass in the rules. So here is where you pass in your rules. Required, first name is required, then you can just go ahead and pass in more rules, the length and what. So you can pass in many rules here. Then the render function, you have access to the field. This is why you put actually in the render is why you put the input. And I've made that input in strategically such that it works very well with React Hook Form. That's why you see you can pass in the errors like this, so that they show on the UI. So if you just come on the UI and you try to sign up without filling in anything, you get all these errors nicely showing up on the screen. And it's just because I'm just like passing, you know, I like building reusable components. That's why I made them to make this input so that we can be reusing it all the time. So you pass in the message, you pass in on blah, then on a change and the value. So this one will just like again propagate these fields. Since you pass in the label, the most important thing is actually this name. This is just like the way we use in the register. So this name is what will be used when you say on submit. So just you come here and you look at the on submit, which we'll call, you see we are not wrapping it in any form. So like in the web, with this is a form input. Here we don't have the form input. Okay. So what we do is on submit. So if you just go down here, you can select on submit, we have the button, and then we have on press, and then have handle submit. Of course, we know where handle submit comes from. So you see this hook still gives you all that. The use form hook gives you the control, handle submit, and gives you this form state where you have the access to the errors. And then you have also this set error here. I'm not sure if we have this on the web. So you have this, you can define the schema here as usual. So you have the here the interface, first name, last name, email, and then when someone you can also give the default values like so, and then on submit you access the data as usual, and then you check. This is where the funny part comes in. We have this sign up, the sign up function, which actually comes from, so you can see the sign up. So we have this use sign up coming from Clerk. So the sign up, if you see it, comes from await sign up. I would want to know where this sign up. Okay, it comes from this use sign up. So we got this use sign up. It is a hook. From this hook, we can get is loaded, sign up, and set active. And then this is the one to register, by the way. You can even pass in only email and password. You can pass in first name, last name, email, and password. So this is the hook that actually goes ahead and registers the user. And then after this, await when someone signs up, then prepare email address verification, and then so we pass in this. So you can use the SMS or you can use the email, but just pass in this email code so that it can send on the email. Now this prepare thing is going to go ahead and trigger this here. So you can see here we have more two things. We have the verify. We have down here. In here we have, where is it? I'm just going to scroll down here. So we have this if pending verification. So if you see this comes from, you set this set pending verification. You just like a normal state. Okay, by default is false, but then here inside this handle social sign up, after you have done not this one, the one of submit. So after you have submitted, you can see we await, and then this one will send the code. Then we have to show that form. So that's why it says sending verification to true. This one will now show the form, and we use this if pending verification. We only show the form. So we show this verification form with the email. So the person can just go ahead and put in this, the key. And now when we submit, you can see we have on verify press. And then on verify press has this also await sign up dot attempt email verification, and then you pass in the code that we got via that we set. Okay, you can see we have the state for code here. So we pass in the code. Where is this? We pass in this code here, sign up dot attempt this, and if the attempt is complete, then we actually route dot replace. That means we can't go back, so we go to the tabs or to the home page. Okay, yeah, if there are any errors, then we just go ahead and do them here. That is nice. I think that one just like walks us through all these necessary things to know how you'd handle the sign up, how you'd access the data. At any point, you can access the data you want in the app. You can do now handle the login using both the Google GitHub and also the credentials, which is really nice. Now, to close this off, you can just now go ahead and just spin up our app. Just get these products from Honor API, the one we did yesterday. I'm just going to leave that one to you to try it out. Just go ahead and get the API we did in here. Just go ahead and use it in this one here. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this episode. It was really short and I like it. So just go ahead and give it a try and just let me know. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.